Christmas, but it's been pretty hectic, so I haven't had a chance to really go through this. So we're going to take a look at the concept art and see what could have been. There's of course the lovely concept art that was on everything, and I think still is. In the table of contents, there is the introduction, worlds, characters, creatures, spaceships, weapons, set dressing, and illustration. The introduction. There's a special kind of joy that comes with creating something new. Every artist has felt this at some point. For the concept artists at Bethesda Game Studios, this joy is magnified exponentially. What they create is just the initial spark that sets off a long and complex series of compounding creations. A vast team of artists, designers, programmers, and people from other disciplines build off each other's work, sculpting the concept art into a living and breathing universe. It really is a beautiful process to behold, and something of a miracle too. To take something so simple and transform it into something so vast and complex as a video game. Oh, that's interesting. They say they coined the term NASA punk to focus on this vision, and they absolutely do. They call it lo-fi sci-fi, and it is a very near future imagining, so NASA is a big inspiration. We're going to skip the rest of this introduction so we can look at pictures. Worlds. World design is core to our games. Both natural and man-made environments need to create a believable sense of place for the player to be transported to and immersed in. With our past games, we had to balance detail and fidelity with scale, creating maps that are expansive enough to engage the player for many hours, but still satisfyingly dense with locations that are rewarding to discover as they explore. We had to completely rethink our classic world-building approach for Starfield, and I know that's controversial because a lot of people say they shouldn't have, but it's a new game. They're trying something new. Our goal was to have a realistic depiction of the immense scale of the galaxy, with over 1,000 planets to discover and millions of kilometers of outer space between them. Well, they did nail the immense scale of the galaxy. It is vast, and it is largely empty space. So that is absolutely correct, but I think people don't really want to see that, actually. Alright. These are a look of some of the planets. I really like this with these large, kind of spiraling clouds. I don't know how well you can see that, because there's a little glare from the light, but there you go. There's like this spiral of clouds above the land there. I love any ice world as well. That is super cool. There's a lot of really beautiful and detailed drawings here, and these did not make it into the game. I think there was just, quite honestly, these pieces are too large. Like, if they were to actually put one of these glaciers into the game, it would be several polygons, and it would be, not polygons, but like pieces, and they would be enormous pieces. I like smaller details more than, just a vast structure. So, to my preference, I'm okay without things like this, but ice caverns for more universality with our biome types. That's interesting. I like that some of these have like a window to the surface. You could potentially see out of the top of the cave. I would have liked to see something like that. This one is just like a well. It's just like a straight shot down. So that probably would not be very fun to explore. I like these glaciers and things. This is great. I think we did end up seeing something like this in the Shattered Space expansion. The pages of this book are really thick and fairly glossy. It's a really high quality book, actually, as if I'm describing how it feels in hand. Let's see, this is Crete. The player visits this marginal life world early in the game. Originally an ice world, Crete was changed to a moody, extremophile planet. Very interesting. Look at these guys. I haven't seen those. They're pretty neat. They've got lichens, gas spores, mushroom structures, eggs. Yeah, I like that. There's a lot of variety that they put into the concept art that did not make it into the game. And I think that's fair because they had thousands, like over 1,000 planets. And on those planets, some with different biomes, like up to maybe like 6 or 8 biomes on some of these planets. The scale of the undertaking would be huge, but honestly they could have just copy pasted, and that's not what they did. They said everything's going to feel new, and in that way made it all kind of expected as well, but I still really enjoy it. But I think we can all look at this and see what could have been was really, really kind of amazing. Alien flora, since we could easily refer to the Earth as a reference for our more normal biomes, we spent a good deal of concept art time early in the project on more out there, weirdly alien ideas for things that the player can find while exploring. Some strange structures and things. Wow. And yeah, the animals and the plants of the game are incredible. They're extremely detailed. They really they make the environments pop. So if you're going to planets that don't have wildlife on them, fix it and go check out some of these creatures because they are creepy and gross and amazing and so foreign and strange. Honestly, kind of incredible. Alien worlds, some of the more fantastical, high science fiction alien world ideas were visually interesting, but didn't fit in with the more grounded aesthetic we were aiming for. That's interesting. I wonder if Starfield 2 is going to take on aliens. I would love to see it. Would love to see it. Wow, check out these painted cliffs. Just gorgeous. And this atmosphere here with these big canyons. You know, you don't really see canyons in the Starfield game, but it would have been really, really cool to see something like that. There's some craters and there's some like mountains where you can find things like that, but by and large, you get a lot of flat space. I feel like I may be belaboring that point. Alright, this is the early New Atlantis exploration. Most concept artists work fully digitally these days, but once in a while some early sketching is done in traditional media, like those pencil and chalk studies of New Atlantis. This approach can help ideas flow a bit more freely when not tied to the screen. That is cool. I like to see some of the rough sketches, and all of this did actually make it into the game. Yeah, the New Atlantis building, I believe its mast is just incredible. grass and the plants around New Atlantis. I think that is, it's almost solar punk, which is my favorite aesthetic. Like, look at this. It's very solar punk. And I think NASA punk is a part of that. Hopefully NASA punk leads to solar punk. View from the New Atlantis starport. That's interesting. So they wanted to have the waterfall be visible from the landing bay. It's not quite, there's a good deal between it, but I like the idea. And I'm pretty sure that it is nighttime when you go to New Atlantis. Like, no matter what time of day you land, when you get out of your ship, it becomes nighttime. So they want you to see everything lit up. I noticed that recently when I'm trying to work on my new load order, because I wanted to update Falkland systems, and it has been a nightmare. I've started a new game. I've started several new games trying to get my load order just right, and I actually removed Watchtower, and I think that's the piece that's going to fix it. But the Falkland ships are still buggy, so if I purchase one and then save my game, exit, come back, pieces of the ship will be replaced with different ship parts, and I can't figure out why it's happening, except that it's probably pulling references from, multiple mods, inserting pieces. But anyway, I've just decided I'm not going to buy those ships. I'm just going to build with those pieces. And hopefully, I won't use any of the structural pieces that make that kind of problem. The architecture. I love this rendering of New Atlantis here with this subway. It's all open air. And there's like all this mist behind. I think this is super cool, and it is like, it's a little bit melancholy almost, which, I don't know, I kind of dig that. Mast, the central landmark of the city and the heart of the United Colonies government, this architectural monument was meant to make a clear statement about just how advanced the UC is. Well, it is very cool. So it looks like they went through several different renderings of it. They made a U for United Colonies. I think that's funny. I don't know if they needed the UC on this building, but I guess it's like having a country's flag. The NAT, yeah, the shuttle system. I think the shuttle system was a bit of a letdown. You don't ride it, you can't see inside it. It has 3 places that it goes to, so it's convenient, but it's not like a standout feature on its own. They've got the archives, the Terra Brew, lobbies and storefronts. Since many of the buildings were game cell loads, open lobbies and storefronts allowed for a soft entrance, indicating to the player that the building had an interior they could explore. Okay, that's good to know. I do like that. Yeah, I think it was pretty easy to tell what kind of things you could go into and see when I first started the game. Let's see. Okay, they say about the net it was less about gameplay utility, but more about adding some futuristic civic flavor to the city. I don't think that played, because, the net just sits there until you, the player, are ready to use it. This looks like their security offices. Very high-tech, very nice. Sanctum Universum Church. Interesting. How did they get this ball to float? outside the city. They should have had a quest that takes you out there, like they do in Aquila, but no such thing. The well, the hidden and seedy underbelly of New Atlantis, dirty, damp, littered, and with graffiti throughout, located in the utility tunnels running beneath the city's hydroelectric generators. I do like how gritty this looks. I mean, this just looks like neon as it came into the game, and I think that is a cool look. This is very cyberpunk, and I think they could have nailed that, but I think everything got sort of toned down, you know, like your kind of gritty stuff got made a little more sanitized, and all of your really high concept stuff got a little more grounded. Oh, this is the inside of the lodge. I like that they did not actually put the stairs at the end here. Much of the other stuff here is the same though. This garden is great. The lodge, originally located in the star station known as the Eye Constellation's headquarters, was relocated to New Atlantis so that the player could experience the wonders of the city on their journey to the lodge. See, I would have preferred it be in space. You know, you can send us to the surface for like anything. It's like, hey, we need you to pick up a communicator device, or like, hey, our water filter chip is short-circuited. You know, anything like that. But it is a really beautiful city, so it's nice to visit. I don't know how they can say that they're neutral when they're like literally located in UC space. It's interesting. The armillary in the lodge, the player assembles the artifacts they find into a supernatural looking type of armillary sphere of alien origin. The design was meant to be a total mystery. And it was. I remember thinking it was really cool going to see all of, like seeing the pieces come together. It felt really cool collecting those. The capital, Aquila City, the capital of the Freestar Collective, found on the planet Aquila in the Cheyenne system. It resembles a large, walled frontier fort. Outside of the city walls, Aquila is a dangerous place with terrain and creatures that are deadly to the uninitiated. Designed with a vaguely western feel, it has a ruggedness that you don't usually get from remote outposts on distant worlds, which exemplifies the Freestar Collective's tough pioneer vibe. Yeah, it definitely feels sort of like a ramshackle put-together settlement. It says this is the key art image for Aquila City so far. While it does not represent a specific location in the city, it best captures the vibe we are going for. It is a walled stone city with a rural frontier settlement vibe. I think frontier settlement vibe makes a lot of sense except for the walls. Once you put up walls, then you have to build within those walls. And you lose a lot of the ability to spread out, and that makes it not very frontier. They mention smaller alleys like this appear between the buildings near the market, and in other parts of the city's dappled light shines through the metal and tarp coverings overhead. There's actually none of that in the game. lots of advertisements. There's neon. It's yelling at you. So a lot of things they did nail, but it doesn't feel like a dangerous place. Let's see. If Aquila City represents the best that the liberty of the Freestar Collective has to offer, then Neon represents the worst. It's a doomed city on a world that is completely covered in water. This dark, dangerous, and atmospheric location was built on what was originally an industrial fishing rig, converted into a somewhat habitable city. Yeah, somewhat habitable. I like all of these walkways. We kind of only get one level of main shopping and things in Neon. But it would have been nice to see like multiple tiers that you go up and explore. The Lambent Ship Services mod accomplishes that by Miss Who Plays. She's got a really great interior that's added to Neon that really that brings that kind of vision to life. Neon architecture. The original vision was for improvised structures built upon the original industrial architecture with canvas wrappings to keep the acidic rain out. There was an emphasis on colorful glowing signage and digital displays. Like how it just successively gets bigger here. Yeah, I like that. The city does build up in this concept art, and I think that's how it would really go. Can't move out too much off a fishing rig. Cydonia. This is a large settlement on Mars, one of the two big cities in the United Colonies. It's a mixture of races and cultures, mostly built as an underground interior location, surrounded by some industrial points of interest on the Martian landscape. I'm not sure I would call it a large settlement. It's definitely bigger than Hopetown, but look at this. They wanted to have you land down inside something like this. That's cool. Yeah, it does feel very industrial. But it doesn't feel like there's a lot of life going on. There's like, you can go and visit the apartments, but there's not really like a lot happening. I'd like to engage with those spaces more. But I think there's just a couple of quests there, and one of them sends you back out to go and collect books. Industrial outposts. The architectural foundation of the bulk of locations in the settled system, from mining facilities to settlements like Neon and Cydonia. This industrial kit is an extensive modular system for building out interior and exterior designs. For building interior and exterior dungeons as well as player buildable outposts. Yeah, I do like a lot of the industrial look of this stuff. It does make building the outposts feel like, hey, I'm the one doing this. Like it feels like you could really live there. There's a lot of little details and things included. I know lots of people didn't build outposts in the game, or if they did build outposts, it was just for resources or whatever, but building your own base on a planet, especially one that's deserted, is a really cool experience. Really, really cool, so I recommend it. The Science Outpost Kit. This kit was developed for the research base on Crete, the second location in the player explores. In addition to industrial, the science aesthetic is another major visual design through line in the game, used in many locations. I would agree there's a real focus on science in this game, and lots of weird stuff in this concept art. Yeah, knows, people will get more ideas about this world and be like, oh, we should have done this, oh, we should have done that. And then hopefully they can take those and put them into a new game. There's a lot of art about this Crete research lab. Nishina, this has got some spoilers, so I won't get into that, but super cool quest, very memorable location. Military bases. An early exploratory concept was for sprawling, elaborately fortified bases with a more sci-fi design approach. It's kind of cool. These all look like battleships to me. Makes me think of, what is the city in Fallout 3? It's on a ship. I'm not going to remember it. Leave it in the comments if you're yelling it right now, please. The Colony Outpost Kit, a smaller kit used mostly by civilian settlers, constructed by 3D printing the outer walls in concrete, then sealing the interior with a sort of inverse vacuum sealed fabric bag. Is that what that is? Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She is trying to get in. She knows that I'm doing something cool. She wants to be a part of it. These are some different designs for the temple. Or the temples, rather. Those are very cool. I do like the one that we got in the game, but this one especially is so strange and bizarre. I think I would have liked to see that too. The Starborn puzzle room. Too big. The gravity puzzle is